Hi, my name is Jerry Keys, and I'm a student at Fordham Law School.
Hi, my name is Josh Kudicheri. I am a second-year student at Fordham Law School here in New York City.
Hi, my name is Matthew Vittordi, and I'm a third-year law student at Fordham University in New York City.
Hi, my name is Lee, and I'm here to tell you that it might be pretty hard right now, but it gets better.
My name is Doug Schlarman, and I grew up in a relatively small town in Kentucky, which means the fact that I was gay wasn't really okay. I was always sort of like a runty little gay kid.
So I grew up in a relatively small town in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. I was pretty lucky in the sense that it's not very diverse, but a fairly liberal blue state type of place. And I was pretty fortunate to go to a great high school and middle school, where, the arts and humanities and stuff are just a big part of what everyone does. And so even though I was kind of your stereotypical gay high schooler that was, into theater and chorus and all of that, that wasn't ever really an issue, and that wasn't, anything that I was ever bullied for or ostracized for.
I grew up in a very small town in upstate New York, and I wasn't out. Nobody really was. Being gay really wasn't an issue. It was not something that was talked about. It was not something that was seen.
Suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, and people will tell you that that's a great gay city, and I'm sure that it is, but that wasn't my experience. I grew up south of the city. I went to a private high school that used to be a military school. My parents are both deacons in their church and both in the choir. They're moderate Republicans. So it was tough for a while. When I was in high school, I wasn't out. I didn't know what was odd about me, but I certainly knew that I was odd, and people didn't make fun of me for my sexual orientation, but they made fun of me for plenty of other reasons. I wore glasses, I was overweight, I was depressed, I was dealing with some bad things that happened to me when I was a kid, not very well. I didn't have any friends, and I thought about suicide several times.
One time when I was in high school, I had a group of former friends decide to call me out, and they left a cake on my door at like 4 in the morning in the shape of male genitals, and had the phrase "shove this up your ass" written in frosting across the top, and it was discovered by my mother about an hour before I got out of bed, and she was upset, and I was upset, and I almost felt like I couldn't go back to school after that.
When I was 14, my mother was killed, which was also around the same time that I was figuring out that I was gay. Not the same time that I came out, because that went a long time down the road. But for the longest time after, my father started drinking heavily. And he's a big butch football guy. And so for my entire high school career, I would go to high school, get harassed at school because I was the runty little gay kid and I was the faggot. And then I would go home and then also get harassed by my drunken father because I was the runty gay kid and also the faggot, and I couldn't do the things that I was supposed to be doing for being a kid in rural Kentucky. And
when I went to college, I found out that my school was in Williamsburg, Virginia, so it's still a pretty conservative area, but they had a free counseling center at my college, and I got into therapy, and that helped me a lot. I found out about some free hotlines that I could call, and I called them, and they helped me. One of the things they told me was that the way I was feeling was normal, and that I was normal, and there was nothing wrong with me. And that's true for you too.
I recognize that not all high schools and not all colleges and not all cities are like that, and that, your experience may be very different from mine, and clearly a lot of other people's experiences are very different from the one that I had. And regardless, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you grow up, and the beauty of growing up is that you get the chance to figure out who you are and define who you are and who you want to be, as you move forward. And that's, I mean, I guess the more you remember that, the better things will be for you now.
I never really found myself in a situation where I was bullied or harassed because of the fact that I was out, because I wasn't. And the perception of me being gay was never something that apparently provoked people to comment to me. So I was very fortunate in that regard. But I think the disadvantage of that situation was that I was never fully me. It wasn't an issue, and that didn't allow me to live my life the way that I should be living my life.
I would sit there and I would tell myself, like, someday I'm going to be a fancy lawyer in a big city, and all of you all are going to be waiting tables at an IHOP. And then I left. I went to school. I happened to always be good at school, and I now am on the verge of actually being a fancy lawyer in a big city. And then I realized when I came back to visit Kentucky that at least 2 of the kids who used to pick on me in high school have now come out to some extent, and now they're trying to hook up with me when I go back to Kentucky.
I think the other thing that's important to consider is that it gets better, but by saying it gets better doesn't mean that it gets better a long time from now. Every day in my life, it's gotten better. I've become more comfortable with who I am. People have become more comfortable with who I am. So it's not some distant goal, this better life. It's not something that you kind of have to wait a long time to achieve. It's incredible to me that people are coming out and they feel comfortable and courageous enough to come out at such a young age, because it really gives them a chance to be their full, complete, and best self.
People will tell you that you're not normal and will call you names and will act like you're something that is other than what they consider acceptable, but they're wrong. You are normal. What you're feeling is normal. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be depressed. But we need you to stick through it because it's not forever. So what happened that made it better? I actually didn't come out until I was pretty much older. I was in my mid to late 20s when I came out. I was trying really, really hard to be straight. I tried really, really hard to be a girl. Neither one of those worked out too well. I got married to a man, and then I moved to Boston, and life changed. I came out, I got divorced, I filled out a petition in court and got my name changed from that girly name that I always hated since I was a little kid to one that I picked for myself. And now when people read my name, they don't necessarily know what parts belong to it, and that's kind of what I was going for.
Again, as much as it sucks to say, stick it out if you are having a hard time. Just remember that you are who you are, and you don't ever have to apologize for that. But that, the future brings with it the opportunity to be something great and to do something great, and you owe it to yourself to take that opportunity and to not just to not lose sight of the fact that the future exists in it, and it's what you will make.
My life is so much better now. I'm in law school to be an LGBT rights lawyer, so I help other people. I have confidence in who I am, confidence that I never had in high school, and I'm surrounded by people who love me and who support me and who care about me, my family, my friends, my professors at school. There are so many people out there who want to do right, who want to be good to the LGBT community. You just have to find them.
I think that if I hadn't dealt with the bullshit that I dealt with when I was a little kid, that now it wouldn't be as good as it gets now. So it sucks to say just be patient and stick it out, but in the meantime, find someone to talk to. Leave a message and talk to me I am bored all day when I'm not in school and would love, love, love the opportunity to talk to a little gay kid in Kentucky. So just reach out. There are people that are there who, to be honest, if you're gay or not, it doesn't even matter to them, and that's the best feeling in the world.
So my one piece of advice, I guess, to anyone who's being bullied is you should say something. Whether you're being bullied or being ostracized, just remember, I used to have this mantra that I repeated to myself in my head: this is just a moment in time and it will pass. And it's gotten me through some very dark times in my life. Reach out to people, reach out to strangers, even if you have to. I know not every city has things like a gay and lesbian community center or student organizations, but do what you can to find those places. If they exist, tap into them.
Being gay is one aspect of who you are, and it's not everything that you are. And while that feels like the one thing that makes you different and that defines you right now, if you are in middle school or you are in high school, it's not. I mean, you're a lot of other things, and just don't forget that fact, and don't forget the fact that there's a lot to look forward to. So please don't ever do anything that would make you think that your life is invaluable, because it is just by the fact that you are here, that you are a person, and be completely fully who you are, and know that it gets better immediately.
So you'll find other people who you can connect with. You'll find people who will understand you, and it will get better. So stick in there. The world is a really interesting place, and it's more interesting because you're in it.
That's my story, and it gets better.
So not only does it get better, it gets great.
It gets better.